How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you my full PSP game collection. Alright, so before I get started, I just want to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. It is March the 17th today. Hope you are all safe. Don't overdrink, don't overdo it. Just be safe about it, but have fun at the same time. So before I show you the games, I wanted to give you a little bit of backstory on my history with the PSP system. It's not going to be long. So my first one I got was brand new when it came out, basically. It was the original black ones, and I did something very stupid, which I should not have done, and I've always regretted it. Always. And my brother-in-law Andrew has always felt the same way, like I shouldn't have done it. But what I did was I took my entire game collection for the PSP and I went to a GameStop and I traded every last game that I had and my PSP system, which I liked, but I did it because I wanted to get one of these. That's right. PSP Go. I've got it on. I charged it. Hold on. Give it a second. There it goes. Which is kind of cool because when you close it, it's got the little clock because we don't have smartphones, you know? So I'm sure you probably remember this thing. It tanked pretty hard. After buying it, I realized I've got God of War on there, by the way. So this was like the only game I downloaded to it, and after I traded my original PSP with every single game, I realized that I made a huge mistake. I completely regretted it because I didn't have a single game, and this thing, if you don't know, this doesn't take the PSP UMD discs, so you have to download every single title for this, and it takes forever. And I learned that right after I bought it. I started downloading God of War, and it took so long. Like, I want to say it took an entire day and a half to download this. Maybe it was just my Wi-Fi, but it was a long time ago, and I remember it taking so long. So that is my first regret, is doing that. So later on, after doing that, what I did was I kept it, I held on to it. I still think it's kind of a cool looking device. I know it's going to be a part of gaming history, and I just think it's a cool device to own anyway. It looks cool, even though it failed so miserably. So anyway, what I went ahead and did was, in order to get another better PSP system like my old one, I went for one of the best ones at the time, which is the PSP 3000. And I went ahead and bought the Assassin's Creed Bloodlines edition that comes with a white PSP, as you can see. The game's not that great, honestly. I was really into Assassin's Creed back then. I loved the first game for the Xbox 360. So I'm like, all right, this looks cool. I remember buying this from eBay. I don't remember how much. But yeah, I won't get into, there's all the innards right there. I kept everything. So I actually have the unit right here as well with me. And I've got Daxter fired up on it right now. You can see, well, I hope you can see. It does look very like vibrant, the colors and everything. And it's just an all-around much better system than this thing. So anyway, I got this back and I was happy. I even got the extended battery because the battery isn't that great on original PSPs. So now I'm kind of on a quest, if you will, a trek, whatever you want to call it, to get all of my old games back that I had on it originally. And I'm only about maybe halfway there, I think. So, alright. So that's kind of my little backstory into my history with the PSP. I've been a huge fanboy ever since it first came out. And yeah, I did that whole trade and I was pissed off at myself and got an old one, or I got the original version. So that's what happened with that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the games. Okay, so first up we have, this is probably my most recent pickup, Coated Arms. So I hope you can see it pretty well. It was reflecting pretty badly. I'm sorry, there's a lot of lighting in here, which can be a good and bad thing because of the reflections. But yeah, this game I have yet to play because I just picked it up, and Zelda Breath of the Wild just came out. I'm not sure you can see those two pictures. And I've been pretty much playing that nonstop. So there's the inside. It came with the manual. I actually found this at a thrift store the other day, so I was really happy. It had a ton of stickers all over it, and I took them off. It took me about 3 hours with Goof Off, but I finally got them all off of there. because I'm a huge stickler for that. I hate it when there's a ton of stickers and stuff on my cases and stuff. So got it all cleaned up. It looks pretty nice. And yeah, this is a pretty good, from what I've heard, first-person shooter on the system. I've always been excited to play it. But yeah, I'll get around to it sooner or later, hopefully. Deadhead Fred. This game I remember buying a long time ago at GameStop when they still sold PSP games, and it was super cheap. It was probably like $5 or $10, I want to say. And me being just the cheap ass that I am, I was like, sweet, all right, a cheap game. I don't think I looked up the reviews. I was just looking for a really cheap game at the time. And it turned out to be actually a fun game. But there's the manual and the disc right there. I don't know if you can see the back of it very well. It's a fun game. Like, the dude loses his head and he's just a brain on top of a body in a little cryogenic, whatever you want to call it, keeping his brain alive until he finds his head. I believe that was a story, so it was pretty fun. This game was my very first for the system. I loved it to death. I played it, well, considerably. I was really excited when it first came out, but it turned out kind of meh. And that is Untold Legends. This was, I believe, a launch title, and it's basically a top-down, like, RPG style game where you go around killing enemies, of course, gathering up swords. There's a lot of different like types of weapons with stats and stuff like that. I just remember being really excited to play this when I first got it because it was my first game on the PSP system. I was probably like 15 or 16 years old, maybe even younger, and this was the first time that I had like PS2-ish quality graphics on a handheld, and that's what made me so excited for this system. I was really loving the handhelds, you know, Game Boys and stuff, so you can imagine when it came out with such good graphics, I was stoked to have something that had that good graphics that you could play on the go. Next up is kind of a hidden gem type game, and that is Lord of Arcana, I think it's Arcana. This is a really fun game. The developer is actually Square Enix, so very good reputation there. And this is one of my more recent pickups. Like I said, some of them are from childhood when I was like 16, and some of them I've picked up recently because I want to start collecting for the system. So this is one of those ones that I picked up to start collecting for it, and it's a very fun game. I've played maybe about 10 hours of this game, and the boss battles are on point. The little areas are kind of small. There's not a huge, vast exploration. That made no sense. There's not a huge area to explore. They're just kind of little chunks, and you go from each one to the next, and it's just like a little room, basically. So it's not very vast, but the gameplay's solid, and it's a good game. Next up is one of my favorites by far on this system. This is one of the very first games that I had for it from my childhood, and this is where I fell in love with the franchise. I love this franchise so much. It's Monster Hunter, and this one is Freedom Unite. So I remember picking this one up and playing it with my brother-in-law, which means I wasn't that young when I first played it. So maybe about like 21 or something, but yeah, this was my first entry into the franchise, and me and my brother were addicted to this. Like, we would play together. Basically, if you've never played, which this is a huge franchise now, like it's a huge game, franchise. So back then, I don't think it was quite as big, but you go around hunting giant monsters. It's like each battle is like a boss battle with these huge monsters, and you carve them up. You make weapons and armor with what you find from killing them. And it's just a huge blast. You've got co-op, you can take down monsters together, and yeah, they've just done a whole lot of great games since they made this one. But this was where it all started for me, and this is an excellent game. If you're into PSP games, pick this one up for sure. Alright, next up we have one of my other favorites. This is like up there with Monster Hunter as well. This one is Dissidia, Final Fantasy Dissidia Duodecim, I believe is how you pronounce it. If you're into fighting games, pick this one up, especially if you love Final Fantasy and you haven't played it. I'm sure, hopefully you have, because this is an amazing game. It's a great fighting game. You're just flying around all over the place. There's like, I'd go into all the gameplay mechanics, but it's unlike any fighter that you've ever played. Like, I'll tell you that. It's an excellent game. I really enjoyed it. Playing it with my brother-in-law again, this is another one that we played a whole lot of. And yeah, this is actually the upgraded version. I don't think I have the other. This was upgraded. They had an other version that was the beginning, and this has a lot more characters and stuff like that. So go ahead and pick it up and play it. So you can see on the cover just the sheer roster of characters on there. There's a ton of characters to play with. I don't know if you know who Shantoto is, but my brother-in-law, he'll whoop you with Shantoto. He's just a master with Shantoto. And it's, yeah, if you look up Shantoto Final Fantasy, and it's pretty funny because she's like this tiny little, yeah, and he kicks ass with her like every time. Next up, this was also one of my earlier games for the system, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. To be honest, I haven't played it in so long, but I remember being, I think this was my very first Metal Gear Solid game I had ever played, and I really enjoyed it. There's, of course, you've got the stealth, sneaking around, taking out enemies, attaching them to parachutes and having them fly in the air. Actually, I don't know if that happens in this one, but all around a really solid graphics and sound, and just all around very solid game from what I remember. Moving on, I've got Mega Man Maverick Hunter X. This was a very recent pickup because it was one of my games that I had that I traded in for this stupid thing, and now I've got it back. This was one of the ones that I really wanted back because it's so good. It is a remake of the version of Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. So it's recreated with 3D graphics, and it looks great. It's a side-scrolling game in case you've never played it. And it's just like, it's a classic. If you ever played the one on Super Nintendo, this is a must-have because it's on point. The graphics, the gameplay is so tight. It's a very good game. So pick it up if you like Mega Man and if you've played the Super Nintendo version. So definitely a great game. Alright, moving on, guys. Stick with me. We're about halfway done. We got this. Let's go. So the next game is SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Fireteam Bravo. And as you can guess, it's just like a war game. I haven't played it in so long. This one I think was a recent pickup as well, and also one that I owned that I traded in for the stupid PS Go. So I need to play it again because I remember it just being a very like realistic shooter for the time. And it's a third person, it's not first person, so you've got the camera behind you. And I don't remember a whole lot, but it's like there's some stealth in there, and you're taking guys out on balconies and stuff with your silenced weapons and stuff. So it's a solid game. You should pick this up if you like those type of games. So this is the sequel to Untold Legends. This one's called The Warrior's Code. This was a very recent pickup I got on Amazon because I have the first one, so I wanted to check this one out and see how it was. And when I first got it, I've only put like maybe 2 or 3 hours into it, and quite honestly I didn't like it as much as the first one. I don't know why. All the gameplay is pretty much the same, so it's not that much different from the first game in my opinion. Like, I don't know, I just like the first one better. Alright, next up is one of my favorites. I know I keep saying that, but there are certain ones that I just like a lot more than other ones, and this is one of the ones that I really like, and that is Phantasy Star Portable. This is actually a new pickup for me, and I've put a decent amount of time into it. It is actually I think it's a great game, honestly. I've gone back with this franchise since Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2, which is for the GameCube and Dreamcast, and I was addicted to that game when I was little. Like, I was addicted. I played so many hours. I think I put like 500, no, I think it was like 1,200 hours into that game when I was a kid. So it was a whole lot of gameplay into that first version. So when they came out with this one, these are actually kind of more expensive, because there's a couple more titles on the PSP, the Phantasy Star titles, and they are kind of pricey. So yeah, this one is an awesome game. Pick it up. Next, I don't have a sleeve or anything for this one. You can see it's just in a clear case, but it is just the original. Sorry, it's like upside down. But it's just Final Fantasy, like the first original one. And I haven't played that in forever. I've just had it for so long, but it's a fun game. Next, this is definitely one of the ones on the top of the list again. I know I keep saying that, but it's one of my favorites for it. And that is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. This one is amazing. It just has an excellent story. You've got 3 different playable characters that you can choose from. And it was my first portable experience with Kingdom Hearts, if I remember correctly. Yeah, in fact, I think the only one. I don't think I've ever played any portable titles for portable Kingdom Hearts titles on like the 3DS or anything like that. It fits in right along with any other Kingdom Hearts title. So it's got a great story, it's got great gameplay. I know I say that. I'm trying to move on quickly here, so I can't really get too deeply into the details. But it's a great game. Pick it up if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts. So next up, I'm going to show these two together since they're kind of similar, and that is Daxter and Secret Agent Clank. So if you don't know, they're both the sidekicks to this one's Jak and Daxter. This is his own little spin-off game, and this is from Ratchet and Clank, and this is his Clank's own little spin-off game. So this one I've actually beat a long time ago, and I picked it up recently to fulfill the collection that I sold and traded in for the stupid PS Go. And this one was a recent thrift store find, which I was excited about. I've never played any of the Ratchet and Clank titles ever at all, so this is going to be possibly my first one I ever play. I've got a couple others for the PS2 that I might try first, though. Alright, next one I'm going to show you is also, I'm going to do them both at the same time. Why? Because they're the same game. And that is Tekken Dark Resurrection. I'm a huge fan of Tekken games. I love Tekken. It's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, fighting franchise games. And this one is no exception. Like, it is an excellent game. So the reason I have 2 of these games is because I don't. This one was just the case that I found at a thrift store. And I'm so weird like that, I had to just pick it up in case I get another copy for some reason. And a lot of times I'll pick up just extra things like this just for something I can trade in later on. If I do happen to find the game, I can have a little bit of trade-in credit with a local game shop to go towards something that I actually want to buy. So if you're not a fan of Tekken, I would say go ahead and pass on this. But if you do like Tekken games and you're into collecting PSP games, it's a must-buy if you like Tekken and PSP games. I enjoyed it a lot. Like, it's a newer pickup for me, and it was the first time I ever played it a couple months ago, and I spent probably 15-20 hours just playing every single day, throughout the day, just fighting and unlocking new characters and stuff. So it's a fun game. You should pick it up. Alright guys, I am all done with my collection. I hope I did okay. I have so many that I don't want to make it too long of a video and go on and on about each one, but at the same time I don't want to make it too short. But yeah, that's my whole collection of PSP games, and I guess I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm thinking about making a Breath of the Wild gameplay video, something along the lines of like a Let's Play or like a tutorial or something. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.